A very good afternoon. My name is James, and I've been living in Cambodia for just under 10 years. I've been living in Asia ever since round about 1993, November 1993, and basically I came to Asia because of the work opportunities that I had through the companies that I work for in the UK and also in Singapore. I came here in June 2015, and I basically stayed in hotels for about 3 months. The first hotel I stayed in for a month, it wasn't very good. The internet's so, wasn't in an ideal place. But the second one that I stayed in, I did stay in for quite a while. It was a huge room with 2 air conditioning units. The Wi-Fi wasn't that good, but it had a lovely double bed. It was in a sort of kind of villa, didn't have a swimming pool, but it was located pretty much in the center, very close to a supermarket and some restaurants, so I could always get the takeaway there. And after that, I moved into a small apartment or a studio flat. It was on the ground floor, again, centrally located. And I paid about $250 a month, and the electricity was about 25 cents per unit, and you had to pay for the water, which was about $3 or $4, but the internet, much better. And I did purchase some things like Netflix, Apple TV, and Amazon TV. I bought a Apple, this is the one, I bought an Apple TV with that. So my entertainment was sorted there. It was very small, it was very cozy. The landlady was actually quite nice. Then I moved into a bigger apartment, maybe about 100 meters up the road from there, which did have a better view. It was on the first floor. It was actually quite quiet. And then I moved out of the town because I did buy a motorbike, and you can ride a motorbike here under 125cc without a driving license. Anything over, you do need to have a motorbike license and then transfer it over to a Cambodian motorbike license, or it's combined with you can get A and B. A is like motorbikes, B is like for a car, etc. And that gives you the freedom. So hence, this is why I did have 2 big motorbikes. One was 200cc, the other one was 302cc. Now I drive a Honda ADV 160, which is a beautiful automatic bike with traction control and torque control and things like that on it. Then the third apartment was actually much better. It was a 1-bedroom apartment. It was owned by these 2 doctors. So downstairs had security, a big parking space. We were the only residents in the apartment building, and it had a generator as well. The electricity before was pretty bad here, but now it's a lot better. I have actually bought a small generator for when the electricity does cut out. It's not 100% as good as, let's say, Thailand or England or America. And living in a house that we do now, the per unit is like 20 cents. The currency here is in Kumar Rial, that is the official, but they also use quite openly, and my bank account is in a US dollar account. So it makes it really easy to understand the currencies. And when you go shopping in the supermarket, it's all in American dollars. And you just use a QR code on the mobile banking application with a bank called ABA. And it's there. So you don't actually really need to carry cash with you or use an ATM machine. Why Cambodia? It was actually a friend of mine. When I did actually retire, when I was 44, I had enough investments to cover me over until the day when I depart this earth. And I was looking for a place in Asia to live. And my friend said, go to Cambodia. The visas are really easy. It's just like $300-400 per year for a retirement visa. The requirements are that you have to be over 55 to get the retirement visa, but you can get it younger than that, but you need to show a proof of income. So you've got to show a bank statement that you have money to support yourself. And a retirement visa means retirement, and that's what it means. That's there. So that's an easy thing to get by. Cost of living. I used to spend maybe $800 per month, but the rent was actually quite cheap in those days. Now I have 2 cats and a partner, so now my cost of living for all of us is about $1,600, and that's living quite comfortably. That doesn't include the holidays to Thailand, which I possibly do 3 or 4 times a year. There is a new airport here, which is about 40 kilometers away. It will cost you $18 to $30 to get to the airport and various means of transportation, whether it's a tuk-tuk or a bus. The bus is actually really cheap. I think it's like $9. And it goes from the city centre, but if that's inconvenient, then get a car that you can easily find for maybe like 25, or a tuk-tuk. I use a pasap, what we call here, like the Indian three-wheeler rickshaw, with a motor, not someone who rides the bike, and it cost me about $18. It's quite slow, but it's a nice journey to the airport there. The health insurance, people constantly ask me. I do have my health insurance of 1 days that I used to travel, and I pay the same premium each month, which is about $50. I know if you're going to do it nowadays, it's going to cost you something like $1,000 per year. Of course, it depends on your health status, and there is a really nice hotel here, hospital here called Royal Anchor, I think it is. That's like 5-star, but there's another hospital called the Kuma Japanese Hospital, and I've been there for a rash that I had before on my arm here, and the local doctors, I'm quite lucky that my local doctor does speak actually fluent English, so I can explain to him the problems, and then he has a pharmacy there, so he would give me the medicine. But if I was seriously ill, then I would use my insurance and go to the 5-star hospital with that. There is one website that keeps popping up on my email, and it's called Prime Pacific, if you want to go and check it out. And I think I know a couple of people who have used that, but not gone into so much detail there. Cambodia, Siem Reap, it's really relaxing. It's really enjoying to live here. I wake up, I make myself a cappuccino, I will go and sit on the balcony, or I will go and sit in the garage, and then maybe a bit of TV, maybe a bit of shopping, maybe have a nice meal. There's hundreds of nice restaurants that you can choose from here. Some really famous, like Red Piano, where Angelina Jolie has gone, and some smaller ones where they make delicious pizzas, for example. And a pizza for 2 people with 2 cans of Coca-Cola will cost you like $12, maybe $13. A nice meal for 2 people with a couple of soft drinks, under $20. There are 5-star hotels here. There's the Hyatt and also the Marriott, or international 5-star hotels. Obviously, they're going to be far more expensive for the food and drinks. If you want a beer in a normal pub, a glass of beer will cost you 50 cents to $1.25, maybe $1.75, which is a lot cheaper than paying 10 American dollars for the beer. So you can see, to retire, if you want a quiet retired life with a social life, this is a ideal place. The visa's easy to get. You can get a visa on arrival here, go to a travel agent, and they will extend the visa. If you're over 55, it's easy. You just need a passport, that's it. And then they will get you the retirement visa for about $290. It takes about 3 weeks to get through. So if you are coming just on a regular visa here, make sure it's an ordinary or a business visa. Don't get the tourist visa on arrival, then it can be extended. And it's multiple entry, so you can come and go and leave this country as if you were in America or in England. Just a stamp on the passport, or actually it's a sticker nowadays, that will get you in and out of the country. So it's just convenient. There are two big supermarkets here, and if you want British sausages, you can get that. If you want some hamburgers, some frozen hamburgers, you can. Frozen pizzas and even gravy you can get. I even saw last week in the supermarket Paxo some stuffing for your roast turkey. And when it does come to Christmas, there are lots of places that do the roast turkey, and maybe you're paying, I've done it before for $30 per person, and I'm not a big turkey lover anyhow, so usually on Christmas Day I just go to a nice restaurant and have a lovely meal with my partner here in Cambodia. So it's just a convenience. It's really easygoing. The people are very friendly. There is crime like in other cities, but I've never been affected by it. Driving your motorbike or riding your motorbike can be a little bit hectic. There are some crazy drivers there, and some drivers will drive in the center of the road and would ignore you as a smaller thing. It's this here, it is the size that matters with your vehicle, and being on a motorbike you always get out of the way. It's just the rule of the road in Asia, basically, not just here. Same in the Philippines, same as Thailand. The smaller one, the motorbike gets out the way. It's as simple as that, and there's no real hurry. Now it's summertime and it does get incredibly hot here. But in next month it'll start to be the rainy season, June until like November time. Then November it's the high season, which means it doesn't rain. It may rain a little bit, and it's not so baking hot. And then in March it does get really hot here, and temperatures can be sometimes quite unbearable. So make sure your apartment or your accommodation does have air conditioning. You will need it. Anything else about the convenience? It's just very relaxed and unpressured. I've only been stopped once by the police because my partner wasn't wearing her helmet on the back of my motorbike. Otherwise, if you obey the law, you drive within the speed limit. Within the city, it's about 40 kilometers an hour, and you have lights and you have mirrors on your motorbike and you're wearing a helmet, the police won't stop you. They will if you're driving at 120 kilometers an hour with no helmet and no mirrors on your motorbike, obviously. So obey the law and you will just go past the police checks. Usually the police checks are checking for vehicles that are overladen, like some trucks that got a heavy weight on the back of it. But for motorbikes, as long as you are wearing a helmet, have the mirrors, then you're fine with that thing. So it's quite easy going. I know that Cambodia in the past had a bad reputation related to the horrific things which the leader did here. I think some of you may still think that it's still like that, but it is quite a modern city. There are 2 Starbucks in the city centre. There's a Burger King, there is a KFC, there's no McDonald's here. I don't think there's any McDonald's in the capital. Again, I am here in Siem Reap, and it's famous for the ancient civilization of Angkor Wat, which is about 15 kilometers away from where I'm living now. I very rarely go there. I'm very happy to stay at home, watch TV, have some nice meals with my partner, go out once in a while. Don't drink and drive here. It's the same as Thailand. It's zero tolerance. So if you are going to go out, make sure you do take a taxi or take a pasap or tuk-tuk to get there. It's obviously more expensive than your motorbike, but if the police sense any alcohol on you, then I don't know what would happen, but I think you may go to the local police station and maybe a night in the cell. I don't know with that, but it's the same as everywhere else. You're going to go out, don't drive your car, don't ride your motorbike, just take a taxi or take a mode of transport that you would pay for. Anything else? People also ask me about relationships, about girlfriends and boyfriends, that you do want to have a partner. It's not like Thailand or Pattaya where there's lots of girls who are willing to help you with their special services. I'm sure there are some people around the town. I think there's one bar called Mikey's Bar where some of the ladies may operate from. They're not too sure where it is, but I heard about that place. If you want to find, I think it's the same as anywhere else. It's just sparking up a conversation. But the thing is, your Cambodian is not going to be great and her English may be very poor. I'm very lucky that my partner did already speak quite good English, so our communication is very strong. And the more that we've been together for 7, I think next month is 8 years. Is it? It's something like that. It's quite a long time. And because the communication is strong, the relationship is there. Internet is fine, banking is fine. Banking is actually really easy to do. You just need the business visa or your retirement visa to set up, and again, go to ABA Bank, which is you would see all over the city, and they would help you set up an account. You can get a credit card, you can get a debit card, and you can use the QR, the electronic payment system, with that as well. So 10 years in Cambodia. I'm very happy. Don't really want to move with it. Really convenient. It may lack the big city appeal. It's like a large town, and maybe it's like a large town in Thailand 10-20 years ago, but it's friendly, relatively safe, very, very convenient. There's no big shopping center here, but there are small shops. So if you do want a Apple computer, you can. If you want a Samsung computer, you can. And you can always compare these prices online with others, so you know you may be getting value for money. If you do buy a car here, they are expensive. I'm looking at a car that I want, which is about $38,000. I think in the rest of the world it's about 30,000. So the tax on cars is rather expensive, and it is, having a car, a luxury. But it's something that I'm thinking about. But we have 2 motorbikes, so it's only uncomfortable to ride a motorbike when it's raining. You just get wet, but you can take a shower. It's a hot place, so you don't shiver and get really cold with it. I think that's about it. I just wanted to explain some of the highlights of my 10 years of living here, really enjoying this country of Cambodia. My name is James, and this is the Asia Show. God bless to all. Thank you very much for your time. I will wish you a happy day. Goodbye.